hello, and welcome to what I'm going to be calling Month of Mike. That's right, every time I say Month of Mike, it will sound like that, because frankly it warrants it. This is a whole month dedicated to Mr. Mike McCready. That's right, everyone. So we've been chatting about this over at Patreon. And we've got a list of songs. I might put them up, I might not, I don't know. But anyway, first one we're kicking off with, which was the most voted for, unsurprisingly, which is his parts to State of Love and Trust. So I'm not going to do too much. I know he does play some weird modulation stuff in it. I'm going to do a separate video for Mike's sort of 10 era sounds. But I will touch on it briefly. Essentially, distortion. You're going to be using, it's a sort of martially type sound. I'm going with my usual. Sounds pretty good to me. There's a bit of reverb on there. Got my humbuckers. Doesn't really matter what guitar you're using. These are quite a high output pickup. Okay, so we're going to be looking at the rhythm parts, which there are loads of little noodly bits in, and the solo bits. And there's some great bits in the solo, so we'll go through this. I'll also show you the fast bit at the end. I'll show you a kind of cheaty way to play that. And give you the notes as well, so you know where you are really with that. But it's pretty straightforward. Apart from that, just some of the parts are just quite quick. That's all. So without further ado, let's do this! Right, so first riff, Mike usually starts this, I think on the Unplugged. Stone starts this, oddly, because I did watch this to try and get a few bits and pieces. How good is Unplugged, by the way? I always forget just how good Eddie's voice was back then. Still good now, but still, back then. Woohoo! Alright, so, same as Stone's parts. The first riff goes like this. Etc. Such a good riff. This is basically an F chord played with the root on the A string. It's basically a C shape, but when you play it anywhere other than an open position, you've got to put your first finger to cover the G and E strings. So you're going to play that whole chord. The next chord is an A minor chord, and you're going to play with just your first finger fretting that 5th fret, and you're going to hammer on the 3rd and 4th finger. So, okay, so note 1 pick stroke, and then hammer on with those 2 fingers. Okay, so the full riff slowly goes. Oh, the other bit you need is, try not to put your fingers over the frets themselves, because you'll get that happening. If you just do it right on the middle of the fret, or between the frets, then you should get that. Okay, so that riff slowly goes. Then when it goes into the verse, the riff changes, but you are playing the same chords. Stone's part goes to this. But Mike has the sort of most recognisable part, which is this. 2, 3, 4. Okay? Slight difference between how it's played the first time to the second time, but slowly that is. So you're just arpeggiating that F chord. Then there's a bend on the 7th fret, which is a full bend. And then he also sounds out part of the A minor chord for that last, I think, 8th note. So the first riff goes like this slowly. 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay? make sure you get that bit in at the end. Second riff is same as the first, but there's a slight variance in the bend. Okay, so the second riff goes like this. 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay? So slightly different. First part of the phrase is the same. That bit. And then there's a full bend again. But rather than doing, you play. So that's a full bend. And then a pull off from the 7th fret to the 5th fret. And then the same again, but picked. Okay? Okay, and then you just repeat those round. So, those again in 4, 2, 3, 4, 1. Alright, pretty straightforward. Then you are into the chorus, and the chorus is exactly the same as Stone's parts. Okay, so let me run through this in full, and then I'll go through the chords slowly. But you start with the same first 2 chords, and then you're going to play C, A minor and stuff. But here we go. Back into the verse. So this is a bit like a half chorus really. The next time you go into the chorus there are some more chords. But for the first chorus, F to A minor, as you play it in the intro. Then you're going to go C to G, just open, A minor, B, power chord, C to D. And you can follow the drum rhythm there with. Okay, so that's. And then you're back into. Etc. So, pretty straightforward enough. I don't think we need to do much there. If you can get a windmill in. I don't have the room to windmill, but if you can get one in, do. Anyway, I do love this tune. Okay, then you're going to do another verse, which is the same as the first verse, and then the second chorus is extended. So, same as we just did, like this. The second part of the chorus goes like this. Okay, and then you're into a little breakdown section. So the only real variance there is, so you're going to do F to A minor again. C to G, A minor. Rather than doing the run-up, which goes A minor, B, C, D, you play A minor, G, F, D. Okay, so like this. And then a big slide there before you go into the breakdown bit. Okay, so for the breakdown bit, Mike's got some sort of modulation effect. I've got a phaser on here which sounds like this. Something like that. Again, as I say, I'll go into that in more depth when I've got a bit more time to look at the settings. But I wanted to give you the notes, because the notes are more important. Okay, then after that, Mike goes into this first kind of solo part, which basically I saw him play this on the the unplugged version down here actually. I thought he played it something like that, but on the unplugged he plays it down here, so I thought, well, that's where I'll tab it. So that goes like this. Okay, that again. That's it, very simple. That's the first part. He plays that around 3 times, but slowly that is a hammer on from the 3rd fret to the 5th fret, like that, and then 2 more on the 5th fret, then a pull off back down to the 3rd, rest for an 8th note, then 5th fret on the B string, play that twice, then a rundown. That last note is a pull off. So slowly. And then this bit, you stay on the 1st fret on the B string. And that at the end is quite subtle, but I hear it on the record. So that again is. And then I think he goes back around that again, isn't he? And Eddie comes in with his hey na 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 bit. So yeah, I think you go around that whole thing twice. So the first 3 phrases are that. And then the 4th phrase goes. And then you go back into another chorus. Okay, so the second solo, he does have this kind of modulation effect. I've used the phaser again. It's quite hard to hear if he's picking more than once. I think he probably is. And it won't hurt if you do, so you can't really tell, to be honest. But he stays on the 9th fret for about 5 bars, like that. Does that for 5 bars. And then he changes to 9, 7, 5. Okay, so that next section goes. Okay, that slowly is. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. The phaser comes off there. Play through that again. Okay, so. Okay, the next part of the solo, he goes into this sort of quick run. Okay, pretty cool. And very similar to the Once solo, actually, which is. And then you got a bit of a run. Something like that. Anyway, back to this one though. Okay, so that run again. Okay, it's good stuff. So slowly. Okay. That's the 5th fret on the E string, and then you've got this little lick, which is 8, 5, 7, 5 on the B and G string. Then you're going to go to a bend, full bend again. And there's this run that goes. Okay, so that slowly all the way through is. Okay. Sorry, Fred, just woke the dog up. Okay, and then you're into, so behind this is. Okay, and over the top of those chords, Mike plays this. 2, 3, 4. Okay, second time is that. So it comes in a little, the bend comes in like a, I think it's an eighth note later. So the first time is, second time is, then the third time he plays kind of a combination of the two. That slowly is. Then you're going to go to this triplet lick that he plays quite a lot. That slowly is, you bank your first finger goes to the 8th fret on the E and the B string, so double stop there. And then you're going to hammer on from the 8th fret to the 10th fret with your first and third fingers. Like that, and then you play the E note in between, so the 8th fret on the E string. So you don't leave that finger there, you've got to abandon it each time you play the riff. So 3 triplets, and the last time is just 8th fret to 10th fret. Then you're into that. That bit. Now, the big solo, the big finale. This, I did try and tab this out, but it's so difficult to hear what he's playing. It's quick, I think he's got a wah-wah on, and it's very difficult to hear the notes. But, essentially, he is just using these notes. Okay? Which is... one guess? A minor pentatonic, that's right. So... that was the blues actually, not pentatonic. But anyway, so Mike sticks to these notes. Well, it's that one as well actually. Because he bends the 18th note up on full tone. But then he's just doing lots of fast hammer-ons and pull-offs around these kind of phrases. Okay, so it sounds a bit like that. That's not obviously exactly like the record, but what I thought I'd do is I'll split it into a few chunks. So the first bit you've got to nail is the bend. So that goes. Okay, so that slowly. So then you've got to fill kind of 2 bars or so with some like noodly bits, and the easiest way to do these fast and they need to sound right. You can't just play because you're just cheating yourself. But you don't need to play it exactly like Mike. You can still play it clean, but embody the spirit that Mike plays it with. So, the easiest way to do that is using hammer-ons and pull-offs. So the first part of the solo is this. Okay, but when you hit that bit, you're going to do a couple of maybe unison bends. Okay, that already sounds quick. Okay, so then you tag on maybe a couple of phrases where you play this. Okay? So practice that one. And, which is the same thing, but you've moved your fingers from the to this. You just move it one string down, and rather than playing, you play. Remember, we're just playing these notes. And then you kind of need to just go to this. You'll see him play that loads. Okay, so that's sort of the end part of that phrase. So now you only really need to fill in about 3 or 4 beats. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's how you should end it. So, the bit you can sort of fluff through is that really fast. And then after about 3 beats, I think it is, of that, make sure you go to this. Come out of that. So there's a full bend at the end of that. And then this phrase is definitely one you want to learn. It goes. Okay, that slowly is. Again, just playing that pentatonic shape. And from there, you're going to play this again. But you're already here, so you might as well play it in the same place. Okay, so that again slowly. Okay, let me play through both of those parts. Stone's going to be playing over this bit, and Mike's obviously playing his bit. So, hopefully this works. Have a listen. So that was a pretty fun way to kick off Month of Mike, I think. So I hope you enjoyed it. That's a good fun one to play, and hopefully that helps you out. Other stuff, if you want to play over it, if you want to just solo over the whole thing, then you're pretty much safe in the A minor pentatonic land. Or, A blues. So you can razz away over that tune. It sounds really lovely when you go through. If you want to solo over that part. But anyway, that's it. So, more Mike stuff soon. Cheers!